Commander Jace sat alone in his ship, the Raptor, flying through the dark emptiness of space. He was a human cargo pilot. He didn't ask many questions. His job was simple: pick up packages, deliver them, and get paid. Today's job was different. He landed on a quiet moon called Orion 6. A tall alien in a black suit waited near a silver box. "Handle with care," the alien said, handing over a strange metal crate. "Do not open. Do not speak to it. Fly directly to Sector 9X. Jace nodded. He loaded the crate into his cargo room. But something felt wrong. The crate was warmed out as the Raptor took off. He kept looking back at the cargo. It shook a little. Was something alive inside? After a few hours, Jace heard a sound, a soft thump from the back. He turned on the camera feed. The crate was open. He jumped from his seat and ran to the cargo room. What he saw made him stop in shock. A small alien girl sat in the middle of the room. Her skin was pale, glowing slightly blue. Her eyes were large and bright, almost human. She looked about 10 years old, wearing a loose silver suit. Her hair floated like it was underwater. Jace took a step forward. She hissed like an angry cat. "Easy. I'm not going to hurt you," Jace said, raising his hands. She stared at him, her eyes full of fear. Then with sudden movement, she ran. Toward him, Jace stepped back, but she didn't attack. Instead, she climbed into his lap and curled up like a scared child. "I'm not your pet," she whispered. Her voice was soft but clear. "I didn't say you were," Jay said, confused. But she didn't move. She just stayed there, holding onto him like he was the only safe thing in the world. Minutes passed. The ship flew on autopilot. Jay sat frozen, the strange girl still in his lap. "What's your name?" He asked. She didn't answer. He tried again. "Are you hurt?" Still no answer. Then the ship's alarm beeped. "Incoming ship detected." Jace placed the girl gently on a seat. He walked to the front and checked the radar. A fast ship was approaching. No ID, no contact. Whoever they were, they weren't friendly. Jace locked the doors. "We've got company," he said aloud. The girl followed him quietly. The enemy ship hailed the Raptor. "Release Subject 9. Now," a cold voice said. JSE looked at the girl. She looked back, her eyes wide with terror. "Is that you?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "They made me in a lab. I escaped." "Why were you in the crate?" "They wanted to sell me. Like an animal." Jace clenched his fists. "You're not an animal." She stepped closer. "You're human, right?" "Yes, I read about humans," she said. "They're kind, brave, wild." Jace gave a short laugh. "Not all of us." The alien voice returned. "This is your last warning. Surrender the subject." Jace looked at the girl again. She didn't beg. She didn't cry. She just stared, silently asking him to choose. Jace cursed it under his breath. "Buckle in," he said. He ran to the controls, turned the ship hard to the right, and hit the warp drive. The stars outside turned into long lines as they jumped to light dash speed. For hours, they flew in silence. Jace finally landed the ship near a gas cloud to hide. He walked back to the girl. She sat on the floor, knees pulled to her chest. "I'm Jace," he said. "I'm Lyra." "Lyra," he repeated. "Why did you climb into my lap?" She looked at him, her eyes soft now. "Because you didn't look at me like a thing." Jace sighed. "Well, now we're both in trouble," Lyra smiled. "Better together than alone." He shook his head. "This isn't over." She nodded. "I know. They'll come for me. But I won't go back." Jace looked out the window. The galaxy was full of danger, but something about Lyra felt bigger than just one mission. Maybe this was more than a delivery. Maybe this was a war. Or maybe it was the beginning of something no one could control. The stars outside were still. The Raptor floated quietly near a red gas cloud, hiding in the shadows. But peace never lasts long in deep space. Commander, Jace woke up to a strange sound, like metal whispering. He opened his eyes and found Lyra standing over him, her glowing eyes staring into his. "You talk in your sleep," she said. Jace blinked. "What did I say?" "You said, don't let them take her." He sat up fast. "Did someone contact us?" "No," she said. "But they're coming." Before Jace could ask more, the ship's screen lit up. Motion detected. Multiple ships. No ID. He ran to the cockpit. 4 small fighters were heading their way, silent, fast, dangerous. "Bounty hunters," Jace said. "They found us." Lyra didn't move. She was calm, like she expected this. "Why do they want you so badly?" Jace asked. "They think I'm a tool, a machine, but I'm not," Jace sighed. "We don't have weapons strong enough to fight them." Lyra tilted her head. "Then run." Jace pushed the ship into flight mode. The Raptor roared and jumped forward, spinning out of the gas cloud and shooting into open space. The hunters followed. They were fast. "Hold on," Jace shouted. The ship flew between broken asteroids, dodging sharp rocks. Lasers blasted behind them. One hit the rear shield. Sparks flew inside the cockpit. Lyra didn't scream. She just stared at the radar. "They're not trying to kill us," she said. "What?" "They want me alive." "You, not so much." Jace gritted his teeth. "Wonderful." Suddenly, Lyra touched the ship's console. Her fingers glowed. "What are you?" The screen changed. The ship's engine roared louder. Speed increased. "You just boosted the core," Jace said in shock. "I understand machines," Lyra said. "They speak to me." Jace looked at her. She wasn't just smart, she was connected to the ship like she was part of it. Behind them, the bounty ships fell back. One crashed into an asteroid. The rest slowed down. "We're clear," Jace said. He let out a breath, but Lyra didn't relax. "They won't stop," she whispered. Later, in quiet space, Jace set the ship to auto. He sat down beside Lyra, who was now eating something from a food pack. "You said you escaped from a lab." He asked, "Where was it?" Lyra looked at him. "They never told me where, but I remember metal walls, white lights, cold hands." "Did they hurt you?" She paused. "They studied me, every day. Me and others like me." "There were more?" "Yes," she said. "But I was the only one who changed." "Changed how?" She raised her hand. The lights flickered. "I started to feel anger, sadness, love. They called it an error." Jace nodded slowly. "And what happened to the others?" "They were deleted." Jace stared at her. "You mean?" She nodded. Suddenly, the ship's eye beeped again. "Tracking signal detected." Jace frowned. "That crate you were in, did it have a tracker?" Lyra looked down. "Yes, but I broke it." "Then how are they still finding us?" Lyra stood up. She looked sick. "They're not tracking the crate," she said softly. "They're tracking me." Jace stood too. "How?" She looked at him, scared for the first time. "They put something inside me, a living tracker." Jace cursed. "We have to remove it." She shook her head. "If we try, I could die." Silence. Then Jace walked to the pilot's seat. "I know a place," he said. "An old contact. He knows tech and he doesn't ask questions." "Where is he?" "A junk station, orbiting a dead planet." Lyra gave a weak smile. "Sounds perfect." As the ship turned toward its new path, Jace felt something change. He was no longer just a cargo pilot. And Lyra was no longer cargo. They were partners. Or maybe something even more dangerous. The girl wasn't breathing. For 5 full seconds, Jace thought she was dead. Her eyes were open, glowing dim blue, but she wasn't moving, not even blinking. "Lyra?" He whispered. "Nothing." She was strapped to the med table inside the Raptor's small medical bay. Jace had injected a mild scan agent to locate the tracker in her body. The moment it touched her bloodstream, her body shut down. He tapped her cheek. Come on, kid. Then her eyes flashed. The lights in the ship flickered. Jace took a step back. Suddenly, Lyra sat up, gasping for air, as if waking from a nightmare. Don't ever do that again, Jace said, heart racing. She looked at him, face pale. I saw them. Saw who? The ones who made me. The raptor drifted near a broken moon, orbiting a dead star. Jace used the time to rest and think. Lyra sat on the floor in the cargo bay, her back against a crate. She stared at nothing. Why do they want you so bad? He finally asked. Lyra touched her arm, the place where the tracker still hid inside her. They used human DNA, she said quietly, to build me. Jace raised an eyebrow. Wait, human? She nodded. Not just any human. Someone they captured a long time ago. That's not possible. Humans haven't had contact with aliens in centuries. Lyra tilted her head. Maybe they lied to you. Jace stared at her. She continued. I was made in a lab on a cold moon. They studied your kind. They called humans dangerous, chaotic, but also unique. They used your DNA to control something wild. Later, Jace sat alone in the cockpit, watching old logs from the scanner probe. He zoomed in on Lyra's blood sample. It wasn't normal. There was something hidden inside her cells, something that wasn't alien. Or human. It was a code. Not just biological. A message. He pulled up the translation screen. Some of it was readable. Unit 9. Instability detected. Human core active. Bond forming. What the hell is a bond core? Jace muttered. Behind him, Lyra appeared silently. It means I was made to connect with a human, she said. Like a weapon? No, she said. Like a protector. A shadow. A part of them. Jace laughed without humor. And now you're bonding to me? She didn't answer. She just stepped closer. I don't know if it's programming or choice, she said. But I want to stay with you. Jace looked away. I'm not the right person for that. You are to me. Suddenly, the ship shook. Alert. Unmanned ship detected. Approaching fast. Jace ran to the console. A large ship was heading toward them. No crew, no engine noise. Just a cold signal on repeat. Return Subject 9. Return Subject 9. Jace locked shields and backed the raptor away. The ship didn't fire. It just followed. Lyra's hands trembled. That ship, it's from the lab. It's AI controlled. They send it when subjects escape. And what happens if it catches us? Jace asked. It won't hurt you. It will erase me. Jace clenched his fists. No weapons, no warning. Just a floating execution machine. I'm not letting that thing take you. Lyra looked at him. Then you need to trust me. Lyra walked to the cargo bay. She placed both hands on the wall. The lights turned blue. Jace watched on the monitor, her body sensed with the ship's power core. Don't blow us up, he muttered. A second later, the Raptor's engines roared with new energy. Lyra shouted from the back, Fly now! Jace didn't ask twice. The Raptor shot forward, faster than it ever had. The enemy ship followed, but its systems weren't built for this kind of raw power. Inside the cockpit, sparks flew. Jace struggled with the controls. Behind them, the enemy ship began to shake, then exploded into a silent burst of light. Silence. Jace turned to find Lyra lying on the floor, unconscious. He ran to her and checked her pulse. It was faint, but there. She had burned her energy to boost the ship, risking her life for him. He carried her gently to the med table. As she slept, Jace sat beside her, watching. She wasn't just cargo anymore, and she definitely wasn't a pet, whatever she was. She mattered, and they would kill to take her back. Asterisk, the screen was watching him. Jace didn't touch anything, didn't move, but the screen turned on by itself, showing his face. It blinked once, then displayed a sentence. Hello, human. You are not supposed to be here. He was inside a forgotten research station, floating in orbit around a dying planet. Dust covered everything. The air smelled old, like metal and fire. Lyra stood beside him, quiet. She had led him here. She didn't know how, but she felt drawn to this place. This was the first lab, she whispered. The place that created you? Jace asked. She nodded. And others like me. The lab had no crew now. Everything was cold and silent, except for the AI that had just spoken. Jace stepped forward. Access logs. Project 9. The AI paused, then answered. Voice print not recognized. But subject is present. It scanned Lyra. Lights flickered. Then the wall slid open, revealing a small hidden room. Inside were old files, frozen samples, and one large screen still running. Jace walked in slowly. The screen showed the words, Project Domesticator, Notes on Human Control. He read out loud. Humans are a failed species. Violent, emotional, unpredictable, yet their genetic code shows rare signs of resistance, adaptability, and leadership. If bonded with synthetic offspring, they may be manageable. He looked at Lyra. They created you to control us? Lyra looked away. No, to tame you. Jace read further. They had taken a single human prisoner years ago. Before Earth vanished from the star maps, they cloned parts of him, mixing his DNA with alien biotech. Then they raised the offspring, like Lyra. In labs, training them to bond with humans, to calm them, to watch them. They wanted to break us, Jace whispered. But one subject went rogue. Subject 9. Lyra. She had shown signs of free thought, empathy, and something they didn't expect. Willpower. So they tried to shut her down. She escaped instead. Then Jace saw a final log entry. A video. An alien scientist speaking to the camera. Subject 9 has developed emotions beyond programming. She is dangerous. If she bonds with a full-blooded human, the results may be unpredictable. The bond will be strong, permanent, protective. She will not obey us anymore. The screen glitched. Then showed a final note. Destroy Subject 9 if found. Bonding risk, extreme. Jace turned to Lyra. She looked small, alone. I wasn't supposed to feel anything, she said. But when I saw you, I felt like I belonged. Jace didn't know what to say. So he didn't say anything. Then the alarms started. Intruder ships approaching. Jace ran to the window. 3 black ships surrounded the station. How did they find us again? He asked. Lyra looked sick. She fell to her knees. It's the bond, it's growing. They're tracking it. Jace lifted her up. We have to leave. But Lyra stopped him. There's one more file, she said. One more secret. She reached for the console. Her hand lit up. The AI hesitated. Then opened a locked folder. Inside was a map. Not of the lab. But of something bigger. Something lost. Jace read the title. Earth Signal. Final location, Hidden Vault Sector. 23Y. His heart skipped. Earth was gone from every known chart. Erased. Burned out in old history books. But this file showed a signal. A possible survivor base. Someone might still be out there, Jace whispered. They used me to find Earth, Lyra said. But I lied. I never gave them the real location. Jace stared at her. Lyra smiled. I wanted to give it to someone I could trust. Outside, the enemy ships locked weapons. Jace turned to the ship controls. Then let's go find home. The girl stopped breathing again, but this time, it wasn't by accident. Jace held her in his arms, eyes wide with panic. She had collapsed after unlocking the file, the Earth Signal. Her skin flickered with light like static. Her heart wasn't stopping. It was changing. Her veins glowed faint gold. Her eyes fluttered, and her voice, distant and echoing, said, Bond protocol. Activating. Jace stepped back. What bond? What are you doing? Lyra's body lifted off the ground, floating 3 inches above the floor. Around her, the air shimmered like heat. The ship's AI turned on by itself. Warning, Subject 9 entering full sync with human host. Jace froze. Host? I didn't agree to this. Consent not required. Emotional link already established. Initiating full fusion. The raptor's lights turned red. Power surged. Lyra gasped and dropped to the floor, eyes glowing bright white. Then she spoke, but her voice was not just hers, that it was layered, deeper, older. Connection confirmed. Human Jace unit linked. Primary mission, protect. Secondary mission, locate origin signal, Earth. Jace stared at her dot, then Lyra blinked, and it was just her again. She sat up, confused, like waking from a dream. Felt everything, she whispered. Your memories, your pain, your fear. Jace backed away. You're inside my head? She nodded. Only if you want me there. I didn't choose this. You did, she said softly. When you didn't leave me behind. Outside, enemy ships were docking onto the lab. The raptor shook. The station was surrounded. Jace helped Lyra up. She was weak, glowing but weak. Can you fight? He asked. I don't know what I am now, she answered. But I know what I want. He gave her a blaster. Then let's find out. The bounty hunters entered through the lower level, tall armored aliens with cold silver faces. No words, just weapons. Jace and Lyra met them head dash on dot at first. It was just fire. Jace ducked behind crates, blasting back. Lyra moved faster then. Before, like time slowed around her. She dodged shots with ease. One bounty hunter aimed straight at Jace. Lyra stepped in front, took the hit. It bounced off her skin, not armor, not shield. Her body had changed. She looked at the hunter. Her eyes flashed. He's mine to protect. She raised her hand, and the hunter's weapon exploded in his grip. 10 minutes later, it was over. The raptor's floor was covered in smoke and sparks. The station alarm blared, counting down to collapse. Jace dragged Lyra back to the ship. You're burning up, he said. I'm stabilizing, she said. The bond is still settling. Jace started the engines. Are we safe now? No, Lyra said. This was just the first group. More will come. Stronger. Jace gripped the controls. Then we keep moving. She looked at him, half smiling. We're bonded now, you know. No turning back, he glanced at her. Yeah, I figured. Before the ship jumped to warp, Lyra turned serious. There's one more thing you should know. What? She pointed. To the Earth coordinates. The lab wasn't just watching humans. It was searching for one in particular, a missing leader. Someone they feared. And they think it's you. Jace blinked. Me? You're not just a pilot, Jace. You're the last carrier of something old, something human. They don't want you alive because you're dangerous to their plans. He stared at the stars ahead. Then let's make sure they were right to be afraid. Asterisk, it started with a whisper, not from Lyra, not from the ship. Not from anything alive. It came from the dark dot as the raptor entered the outer edge of Sector 23Y. An old, broken voice played through the static-filled radio. If you're hearing this, you are not alone. Jace sat up straight in his seat. The message repeated, glitchy, like it had been waiting a long time. Lyra opened her eyes slowly from the bunk. That voice. It's human. Yeah, Jace said, and very old. She walked up beside him. That signal is over 100 years old. Then why is it still broadcasting? Jace asked. Lyra stared out the window. Because whoever sent it wanted us to find it now. The ship floated closer to a dead asteroid belt. In the center, hidden behind a shattered moon, was a metal structure, shaped like a scar across space. A secret human vault. It looked like it had been half destroyed, but still breathing. Lights blinked slowly across its hull. The closer they got, the louder the signal became. Not alone. Not alone. Jace landed the raptor on its only working dock. The air inside was stale, but BREA to ABL, no bodies. No welcome, just Silence. They moved through old corridors. Broken lights flickered. Human writing on the walls. They found us. We scattered. We are still human, even if we hide. In the center of the vault was a small control room. Screens lined the walls. Frozen in time, Jace wiped the dust from one of them and pressed play on the only working file. A human woman appeared, tired, eyes red, voice shaking. If this vault is opened, that means Subject 9 survived, and she's found her match. Jace and Lyra froze. The woman continued. We built her from the best parts of us. She was never meant to obey the galaxy. She was meant to protect us. If she has bonded, that bond is permanent and unstoppable. Jace looked at Lyra. They knew this would happen. Lyra was trembling. She's talking about me. To whoever finds this, the woman finished, you are our last hope. Earth is not gone, it is hidden. And only the bonded pair can unlock its location. The screen blinked off. Then a small metal key slid out of the wall, glowing with the same color as Lyra's eyes. She reached for it. The moment her fingers touched it, the vault came alive. Alarms blared. Lights turned red. A loud voice echoed. Unauthorized bond detected. Alert all hunter fleets. Jace swore. They set a trap. This vault was never lost. It was a beacon. Lyra clutched the key. We have to leave, now. But Jace grabbed her arm. Wait, you said the bond unlocks Earth's location. Use it, now. She hesitated. It'll burn me. It wasn't ready. I don't care, he said. If we're going to run, we need to know where we're running to. She closed her eyes and pressed the key to her chest. A flash of light exploded from her body. Symbols filled the vault. Strange human alien codes spinning in the air. Then, a star map in the center. A planet, hidden behind a false gravity field. Shielded from scanners. Its name blinked in glowing letters. Earth, reclaim Jace's breath. Caught. It was real. It was still out there. Then the walls shook. Lyra fell too. Her knees, smoke rising from her back. You okay? Jace asked, lifting her up. I saw something else, she whispered. What? Someone's already there. Someone like me. Jace narrowed his eyes. You mean, another hybrid? She nodded. But not like me. He's not bonded. He's been waiting. Back on the Raptor, as they lifted off, ships were already arriving. In the distance, hundreds of them. All with one message. Return Subject 9. Human host will be erased. Jace didn't flinch. Lyra stood beside him, weak but standing tall. He looked at her. Then at the glowing star map in his hand. We're not running anymore, he said. We're going home. She walked into the fire. No armor. No shield. No fear. Just bare feet, soft breath, and glowing eyes. Lyra stepped out of the ship and onto Earth's forgotten soil. Her skin pulsing with light as enemy ships burned around her, smoke covered. The sky, wind howled through ruined towers. She had been made in a lab, raised in a cage. Sold like a pet, but now she stood on the land her creators had tried to erase. And she wasn't hiding anymore. 12 hours earlier. Jace and Lyra broke through the final layer of the gravity field that hid Earth. The planet was not dead. It was alive. Forests had grown wild again. Oceans stretched wide. Old cities lay cracked and quiet under the sun. But as they descended, a message played across the ship. This world is under protection. Identify your bond. Lyra stepped forward and touched the console. Her voice shook. I am Subject 9. My bond is human. His name is Jace. There was a pause. Then the system answered. Bond confirmed. Entry allowed. Jace leaned toward her. You sure you're ready? Lyra nodded. I've waited my whole life to stop running. They landed near an old human city, half swallowed by trees. The Earth vault was buried beneath a skyscraper, hidden in plain sight. Inside, they found signs of life, not human, but close. A boy stood alone near the vault door. He looked about 16. Silver markings ran up his arms. His eyes were sharp. Another hybrid. He smiled when he saw Lyra. So ... You survived. Lyra didn't smile back. You're like me. No, he said. I'm better. I didn't bond. He stepped forward, pointing at Jace. That's your weakness. No, Lyra said. That's my choice. The boy's name was Nex, a first-generation hybrid who had never escaped the lab. He had stayed behind when Earth was hidden, programmed to protect it until the Creator's return. But now, his orders had changed. Your bond threatens everything, Nex sighed. You've connected to a human emotionally. That was never part of the design. Lyra stood in front of Jace. I wasn't made to obey a design. I was made to choose. Nex's eyes narrowed. Then you're broken. No, she said. I'm free. The sky darkened. Above Earth, a full invasion fleet arrived. Thousands of ships, silent. Cold. They sent a final message. Deliver Subject 9. Human host will be terminated. Jace turned to Lyra. We don't have the firepower for this. But Lyra didn't flinch. We don't need firepower. We have the bond. She stepped into the center of the vault, holding the Earth key. Suddenly, the vault lit up and began to pulse with her heartbeat. A signal went out across the stars. Not a distress call, not a cry for help, a challenge. Earth is awake, and we are not your pets. Nex tried to stop her. He rushed forward, blade in hand. Jace moved to fire, but Lyra held up her hand. She caught Nex by the wrist and looked into his eyes. You can be more than what they made you, she whispered. He froze. For the first time he trembled. I don't know how, he whispered. Start with one choice, she said. Protect something, not because you're ordered to, but because you care. He dropped the blade. Outside, the enemy fleet prepared to fire. But before they could launch, the vault released a massive pulse wave, powered by the bond between Lyra and Jace. The wave shut down every enemy ship's weapon system, one by one. Their engines failed. Then the ships vanished, pulled into deep space by the gravity web Earth had hidden for years. Silence returned. Later, as the sun rose, Lyra stood on the edge of a cliff, wind in her hair. Jace joined her. You did it, he said. No, she replied. We did it, he smiled. You know, when I first saw you, I thought you were cargo. And I thought you were just another human. But now? Lyra turned toward him. Now I know I'm not a pet. I'm a person. And this is my home.